Hey everybody, this is Ashley with Publish with Ashley, and today we're going to talk about Merch by Amazon, which is a free way to start an online business, making your own T-shirts and selling them online, specifically Amazon. Merch by Amazon is an Amazon program. So if you're interested in learning how to make money online through Merch by Amazon, Etsy, Kindle Direct Publishing, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm always here live on Wednesdays, or almost every Wednesday at noon Eastern time. So please come on, join us, and you can ask your questions live, where I always have a topic first. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about today is, like I said, Merch by Amazon, and kind of my journey, I suppose, to a certain degree, what I've learned along the way, what I wish I knew, and maybe some ideas and strategies for you guys. I have something super cool for you. If you stay to the end, I'm going to have to add the code, I guess is I'm gonna have to add the link info to the show notes later, but it's something pretty cool that I wanted to show you, and it's a really good idea, I think. Anyway, so make sure you stay for that. All right, so what I wanted to talk about is Merch by Amazon, and kind of my journey. We're going to talk about what is Merch by Amazon, ways to get signed up, and then kind of my thoughts, strategies, journey, that sort of thing, things maybe that will help you. All right, so let me share my screen here. Merch by Amazon is a program by Amazon.com where you can sell t-shirts online. You can start this for free. You just have to go here to this sign up and sign up. And what you basically need to do is you need to have an email address, and it asks you some questions. Things to note: if you already have an Amazon seller's account or something like that, you may want to try starting using that email address, because it seems like you get accepted a little bit more. Now, if you have an Etsy shop or some other t-shirts, or you're a designer or artist and you have a website, it does ask if you have a website that maybe shows off your work. So I would put that in there. If you don't have that, don't stress, don't worry. You don't have to have that sort of thing to necessarily get accepted. So what you're going to want to do, once you put in your application, you're going to want to kind of check back and try and log in every single week. The address, if you literally type in Merch by Amazon on Google, you'll find it, but it's merch.amazon.com. That's kind of the landing page you're going to go to sign up, but you're going to want to try and sign in. It seems that Amazon sometimes sends you an email that you've got accepted or denied. It seems the denied emails go through more often than the accepted. So you're going to want to check back every week or so, just to see if you got accepted, because you have a certain amount of time. I don't know what it is right now, but a few months, probably 2-3 months, to put a design up onto the platform, or they will take away your access to the account. Okay, so you're going to you get to hear my husband, if you can, in the background, apparently playing the piano. I guess we get background music today. Anyway, so, okay, that's kind of how you sign up. So you're just going to sign up, follow the directions. It's pretty simple. It's a short form, and see if you check back in to see if you can get in. So hi, Diana. Hi, Paulina. And hi, Bailey. Oh, let's see. Diana's watching from Romania, and Paulina is watching from Mexico, and Bailey, I know you're in the US somewhere. Okay, good. I'm glad too, Bailey, that I'm going to cover some extra income streams. And hey, Lucy, I'm so glad you're here too, because I've been emailing with you. All right, so what I want to share, there's some cool stuff. So kind of want to tell you about my journey through Amazon. And I've got to pull up this. Let me, all right, click. There we go. Okay, so this is my analytics for 2021, and I made $5,147, which I admit is not a lot, but I want to tell you kind of about my journey through the program. I've been in Merch by Amazon for 4 years. The first 2 years, I took it pretty seriously. I put up designs. I followed everything everyone said. And I had like 1,000 designs, and I have like 2 or 3 t-shirts out of those 1,000 designs that sells. So I would have to admit that I am not the greatest at t-shirt design. And it's not because of necessarily my designer skills. It's mostly probably because I like plain t-shirts. I don't know if you ever noticed, but I generally wear plain clothing as far as nothing on it. But I don't want that to deter you. You don't necessarily need graphic design skills if you go and see what's out there. Funny sayings, if you're clever, or just you come up with something. But what I wanted to show you about this is I've made over the 4 years about $11,000. And in the past year, I pretty much made half my income. And you think, how did I do that? Well, that's what I kind of wanted to share with you today, is that I actually, what I decided to do the beginning of this year was take advertising seriously. So I actually started advertising on Amazon.com. Well, yeah, Amazon.com through Merch by Amazon. You have to have a Merch by Amazon account, which once you have an account, you can, I'm not sure if they give it to you automatically now or you have to apply. I'm sorry if I don't know. I had my account from a really long time ago when you had to apply and then they cut it off. But I think it's back to everyone has one now. So what I decided to do was kind of take that advertising seriously. And I spend about $100 a month on advertising now. I have 2 shirts that sell pretty well out of my 1,000 designs. And I didn't know what I was doing, honestly. So you guys can probably do way better than me because I didn't know what I was doing. But I have 2 designs that sell pretty well. And I just consistently advertise them. I think my bid is around 25 cents. And what I want to do in the future is I have a few other designs that have sold organically here and there. And I want to start adding those into my monthly advertising scheme. So those 2 shirts that I've been advertising do really well. And I get sales every single day. And I end up spending about $100 to $150 a month in advertising. And I end up making around $300 to $400 in profit a month. It just kind of depends on the month and what the advertising costs are. But I really decided to take that seriously. So I think one of the things you really have to understand about Merch by Amazon that's slightly different than KDP is organic search gets flooded pretty darn quick. Because what happens is Amazon, KDP, all across Amazon.com. Anything that goes on their platform for the first 30 days gets kind of a boost in rankings. Like they'll show it more often to see if people like it based upon the keywords. And in Merch by Amazon, your keywords are pretty much in your title and your name of your brands, and then also not as much in your description, but pretty much in your title. And so it gets kind of a boost for the first 30 days. And then they'll see if people want to buy it. And if they don't, it'll kind of get dumped. So the thing about Merch by Amazon is it's pretty easy to make a design. And so people put thousands of designs. Literally, I know someone who used to put by herself 100 designs up a day. I have no idea how she did it. Don't ask me, but she said she did all text-based, and she literally would do them in the supermarket. She'd type them out in the supermarket while waiting in line and then submit them. I applaud her because I can barely pay attention to anything in the supermarket, let alone try and design and upload all at the same time. But you want to, so it gets flooded pretty quickly. Whereas KDP, since you have to have a cover and interior, yes, there are a lot of things get submitted a day, but it's not quite in the quantity that Merch by Amazon. So stuff gets buried fairly quickly in Merch by Amazon. So I think really to get in the Merch by Amazon ahead in the game, you have to do some advertising. Now, you can definitely do AMS ads, which are paid, but I don't think that's the only way. And that's what we're going to talk about next. I think, and this is one of the strategies I'm going to start pulling in, because I was thinking, how can I make more money on Merch by Amazon? Because I think it's a great platform, but I think you have to, instead of coming up with a million designs, come up with like designs around themes that are very popular and then try and push your own advertising. Okay, so either by AMS ads or Pinterest, I think is another way. And I want to show you some ideas. So let me go to the comments real quick. Lucy's in New York City. I know, Kirsia. I'm so sorry. I should never pronounce anyone's name. Thank you for watching me too. Okay, so let's see. Let's go to the next. I want to close this. And we're going to talk about, so advertising, definitely AMS. And I will talk a little bit more about advertising and what I'm thinking about doing on AMS at a different time. But I'm going to have to do that not live because it's too hard to do live because there's things I have to blur. Not that I really have that many t-shirts, but I would like to keep the two that I have selling. So here's the thing. Pinterest is hugely dominated. If you go through Pinterest, and I did space birthday party t-shirts because I was thinking if you could do something around a theme that people would buy more than one, what would you want to do? And I like space. I like technology. So I just picked space here. And it's kind of a popular boy, girls too, but I think it's more popular for boys. So you have this one here. Let me see if I can open it. I don't know if it'll, sometimes live, it thinks very slowly. But Etsy itself, or Pinterest itself, is dominated very much by Etsy because Etsy sellers know how to use Pinterest. And honestly, Pinterest, a lot of people who are on Pinterest buy from Etsy, but that doesn't mean they wouldn't buy from Amazon. They're probably Amazon purchasers and they're probably Etsy purchasers. They like to purchase online, right? So they aren't opposed to going to Amazon.com. It's just that Etsy, people who have Etsy stores know how to use social media platforms because they want to get sales. So what I wanted to show you with this pin is, see, it's got daddy of the birthday boy, mommy of the birthday boy. This has a particular name, but sister of the birthday boy, right? So what you could do is you could pick, and this is like, if you could sell 3 or 4 t-shirts at once, then just think how awesome that would be. You know, mom, dad, birthday boy or birthday girl, right? You could make 3, and you could have some others like birthday sister, birthday brother, whatever. You could do that too, but maybe just focus on mom, dad, and birthday boy, girl, kid, whoever, and create a pin like this, right? So you show all 3, and then you have the link. And here's what I think is cool. Here's what I've come up for you guys. Let me actually, I have this one. So I actually opened it in Etsy for you. So here it is. I opened in Etsy, and see how they have all of them that you can kind of add. And you're thinking, oh, well, Etsy can do that, but I can just have a link to the shirt. How do they find the other ones to purchase? Here is my super cute, cool tip because I like to play with Amazon. Okay, so here is what you can do. You use this link, which takes them to, this is just an example. I have dog moms and I guess bear. I don't know why I put these shirts, probably because they were quick to find. But you would have, you know, your birthday boy, birthday mom, birthday dad, right? So you direct them to a preview of all the ones you want to show them, right? And you can do this. You just have to have the first part of this. So there's like this first part. And then what you do is it says ASINs equals. I know this is probably hard to see, but then you put the different ASINs in and they are separated by a % sign. And I'll put this in the show notes, how to do it with some information. But this is a really cool technique. I love playing with Amazon and trying to do something different that most people aren't trying to do, because I think you can really explode your business if you kind of think outside the box instead of just trying to do what everybody else is doing. And I think Pinterest is a great way. Let me go back. Here we go. Pinterest, because it is totally dominated by people in Etsy. You can definitely do something. And Etsy buyers tend to purchase things at a little higher cost. So that's kind of good for you. But it's really dominated by Etsy. Look, Etsy, 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 some random other places. Etsy, Etsy, Etsy. And I scrolled down and did not see one for Zazzle. Let's see, JC Penney's, Carter's, none for Amazon, right? People buy on Amazon. And also a thing about Pinterest is, did you know that let's see, I can't remember what the statistic is. I think it's like somewhere between 70 and 80% of Pinterest users, so avid Pinterest users, actually plan their purchases using Pinterest. So they'll pin things that they intend to purchase. Okay. That is huge. So I think you can definitely, and the great thing is once you have enough designs, it's a tiered system through Merch by Amazon, but once you get to like 100 or 200, you can definitely do this in the sense of it's a permanent link. to Amazon. You don't have to worry about changing stuff up. Pinterest will be there forever, advertising your stuff day and night. Now you do have to actually pin and do things like that and make pretty pins like this, which isn't too hard. You can get Spreadshirt. I think even, what is it? Canva has a few, and I'll look and make sure, but I'm almost positive they have some things that you can put your design on, and it does a t-shirt or a person. So you basically just kind of make these mock-ups and then post them on Pinterest, and voila, you've got advertising. And the great thing, if you kind of think in the sense of, okay, how can I do for a group of people, you might get more than one sale, right? And now I've just shown you a super cool way to be kind of like these people in Etsy, where they're directing to an entire family type thing. Well, I am showing you on Amazon how you can show, create a link that takes them to several of your products. Okay, so questions on that? I know that's kind of fast, but I wanted to show you, you can really do something unique and different. And I think if you're thinking about Merch by Amazon, if you're trying to rely on organic sales, I think you are going to have a really rough go of it. But if you decide to either advertise through AMS and learn how to advertise and spend a little money, it is worthwhile. It does take some time, but it is a great long-term strategy, because once you get a seller, I consistently pay my advertising cost and I consistently get sales. It took a little bit to get there, but it really, really worked. So then the other way, the free way, is to put some effort and work into a Pinterest account, which honestly, they can complement each other. There's no reason you can't do some AMS ads and do Pinterest, right? But I think with Merch by Amazon, your best bet is to do less designs and then focus on a way to advertise your products. Like, spend your time on advertising and not necessarily on designing. I hope that kind of helps. That's my take on it. That's my thoughts. You can do your own thing, but that's kind of, and I think learning how to market stuff is a skill that you can use for anything online, right? That is something that really, that's how you sell stuff online, marketing, right? People have to see it to be able to purchase it. So I think that's a skill that if you're going to focus on something, that is a skill that you can focus on that will always benefit you in the online marketplace. Okay. Let's see. Any questions? Do you guys have questions? Let me stop sharing my screen. I will be big again with my dark eyes because I don't think I've slept enough. It's Christmas time, right? Let's see. Any questions? Does anyone have any other interesting questions, ideas, thoughts, anything about Merch by Amazon that you want to ask me? Like I said, I'm not the super expert, but I have done it long enough and I guess failed long enough where I actually had some success this year. And I didn't spend a huge amount of time this year, but I literally made half of my earnings this year that I've made, in the 3 previous years. I made the same amount 3 years previous and the same amount in 1 year this year. And it was just because I changed up my strategy. What do you recommend for tier 10? Tier 10 is a rough place. The easiest way for tier 10 is probably to get like 30 or 40 designs, and then every few weeks change them up and see if you can sell. The other strategy would be just to focus on something and try to use Pinterest to your advantage. The only problem with that is if you're new to design, you don't know if your designs are good or bad, right? So that can be a little bit tricky, but if you think your designs are pretty good, and other people think your designs are pretty good, then you can try and just focus and use a Pinterest strategy. But if not, I would probably kind of rotate through designs, get 30 or 40 designs up there, edit 10 at a time because you're in tier 10, and then rotate every few weeks, like 2-3, probably 3 weeks. Because at 3 weeks, it's hitting that 30-day point. And that's kind of when Amazon gives up on trying to show your product if it hasn't already sold. So you can kind of take advantage of that. You can also try changing your price point. Any sort of change in your product back end triggers Amazon to say, hey, maybe we should show this more often. So I know a lot of people who have sellers that if the seller dips a little bit, they'll change up their price point. It'll kind of come up a little bit, and then they'll readjust their price point again in a few weeks. So those are ideas for that. The other idea is if you're in the US and you can afford it, just buy some t-shirts to give to people. That's what I will admit it. I bought t-shirts and gave them to people. I had a few sell. I had like 6 or 7 sell out of the 10, but maybe it was like 6 because I think I ended up buying 4 t-shirts that I just gave to my kids and other people so I could get out of tier 10. Once you get to a tier 100, really, I think the Pinterest strategy or just advertising, because you have enough designs there that you can really play with 100 designs and try things out. Obviously, more is better. I think I'm at tier 3,000 now or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it's set on that thing or tier 1,000. I don't remember where I'm at. But I don't have that many designs up, so I don't have over the number, so it's fine. Can you tell me the easiest way to approve merch by Amazon or make a video on these topics? Yeah, that guy said in the earlier, I can probably do one specifically on that, but the most common thing I've heard across the board of people who get accepted is that if they have a seller's account already, to use that email address because they get accepted at a higher rate. Probably because Amazon has a history with you, so they know that you can kind of know the rules. The other option is just to keep trying over and over again with different email addresses. So once you get, if you get declined, you can just try again with a different email address. I think some of it is honestly luck of the draw. I know that's bad, but that's sometimes. Christmas, it's probably going to be your worst time because they get really, really busy. But next year in January, when it it's not as crazy for Amazon, that might be a better time to try and get your merch account in because they're just not as busy. Okay. My husband applied for a merch by Amazon account and got approved pretty quickly. He has only made t-shirts and they haven't sold much. Yeah, you've got to fill up your whole tier, all 10. And actually, if he's sold with only 2, that's pretty good. Actually, I would say that's really good. If he only has 2 up and he's had a sell or 2, that's actually really good. Like I said, the thing with merch by Amazon is so people put up so many designs so quickly, your new stuff gets buried pretty quickly. So I think that's what makes it a little bit more challenging than KDP. So it's not as much as your design skills, which honestly, if you can come up with trending topics, that's another thing. If you're in tier 10, you can come up with a trending topic or something new. That could be your ticket in, but that means you have to pay attention to trending topics. And I'm terrible at paying attention to trending topics. But if you pay attention or, on trending topics, you're into Reddit, you see all the things, then maybe you can try that as a strategy. But otherwise, it's not so much, you have to have a decent design. Solid is, I guess, the best word I can come with it. Nothing that looks cheap or awful or whatever, but something that looks solid and good. And then you can come up, you can, sell. But the thing always comes up is that, like I said, they get buried so quickly. So it's not as much about your design. Yes, it is, because it has to capture someone's attention. But a lot of times it's just getting it out there. It's that marketing piece in Merch by Amazon that I think you really have to master to be able to do well. The people who I know who are doing well have mastered ads. They are one of the two things. One, they're either okay with spending some money to get it out there and selling. And then once it's selling and it's got reviews, the organic sales come in a lot better, but they still continue to advertise, but they're not at a loss anymore. Or they advertise through Pinterest. I know a lot of people who have serious Pinterest accounts, and they do a really good job of advertising their stuff. And then other people who do really well, they've usually got some sort of marketing or advertising scheme going on, or they just flood the market with mass amounts of things. That can work too, but that's not something you can do until you have a big enough account. Any other questions? I hope I don't mean to discourage anyone who's new to Merch by Amazon, but I want you to have a realistic picture of what I think you need to do well in Merch by Amazon. I think there's a lot of people who are really disillusioned as to how they can do in Merch by Amazon. They think it's all about the right keywords. It's all about, the right design. And it's kind of all about all of it. Yeah, it's a little bit of all of that, but I think the honest truth is you just have to come up with some way to get your product in front of customers. And that either has to come by paying for it or organic or mass, right? If you just churn out 1,000 designs a day because you're at that tier, then yeah, you're probably going to do well. But that's not most people, right? So the first two, when you're first starting out, is really what you've got to figure out. Another strategy is local merch. Mike, I think Goddard, I can't remember how to say his last name, but it's something like that. Guider, I don't know. Anyway, he has a local merch. He does Merch by Amazon local. So he goes around and talks to local businesses and says, hey, I'll make t-shirts for you and you can sell them to your customers, and gives them a private link to Merch by Amazon. And then that pizza chain or that sort of thing, every time a customer wears that shirt in, gets, $5 off, $1 off on their pizza or whatever they come up with. Or some companies like that use them as, what do I want to call it? Uniforms. You've probably seen like tire shops and things like that who have, just the logo of their tire shop. So he goes around to local businesses and says, hey, I can do this for you. Put them on Amazon and you can just purchase them one at a time. And that's really advantageous because otherwise companies like that have to purchase, kind of in bulk, like 20, 30 t-shirts at once. And then they end up storing them in the back and they have the wrong sizes for the employees. Whereas this way they can just order, hey, we got a new employee. He needs, 2 t-shirts. Let's go order them from Amazon. They'll be here in 3 days. Right. That's pretty easy. And then, they don't have the storage. They have the right sizes and, so it makes it easier. That is another way to do it. But that depends upon where you're located. Any other questions? If not, that's kind of all I had for today. I just wanted to kind of give you guys kind of my story with Merch by Amazon and give you some ideas and definitely a different take on Merch by Amazon. I think you can really do well by learning that marketing piece. Actually, I just think marketing is one of the things you should learn, because if you want to do well in the online space, if you can market, you can get people to purchase stuff. That's kind of what the biggest problem is. Are there software to help? Oh, yes. Oh, okay. Merch Informer. I was going to show you guys that. Give me a second. Merch Informer. That's what I use. It is the best. I actually put it in the show notes. I meant to type it here. I'll show you. Merch Informer. There it is. And I'll show it to you guys real quick. It's thinking. Here, let me show my screen. Add. Okay, so I'm adding it. It's thinking. Okay, so Merch Informer. It truly is the all-in-one thing. You can actually, I have a link and a 20% off coupon. If you look in the show notes, I did put that in there. This is the tool. It's made by the same people as BookBolt. He actually made this first, and it is great. Like, it does research. What the thing I use it for the most is I put in my titles and stuff in here, and then it'll copy and paste it onto the page. Through hotkeys and stuff, so that I don't have to retype things that I've, if I'm uploading at the time, I don't have to retype stuff. It kind of just copies and pastes it in. So it speeds it up, and it also kind of saves those descriptions for me so that I don't have to rewrite them every time. The other thing it does that I really like is it has actually, I think the most powerful thing is the trademark checker. You can, when you put your design up, you just click on, it has a Chrome extension that you can get through the Chrome store once you have this. And then it checks your trademarks. So you click check trademark and it tells you if it's trademarked. And the nice thing is like you can go into your designs every once in a while, click the trademark checker and see if any new trademarks have come up. That's kind of the scary thing about merch by Amazon. The t-shirt trademarking is crazy right now. I think someone tried to I'm not sure if they were successful, trademark the word cat. Like, you can't have the word cat, or was it cats on, not like Cats, the Broadway show, but like cat and cats. They were just trying to trademark the word. And I'm not sure if that one eventually got shot down or not, because it's not like they were the first person to ever put cat on a t-shirt. I mean, how many cats are on a t-shirt? Anyway, so that trademark checker is super, super awesome. Actually, it's funny because on my books too, because the extension shows up, it'll occasionally check books, my book titles for trademarks. Not intentionally, and I'm not sure all the time. I'm not sure. I think it's when I have the extension activated or not. It sometimes does. Anyway, but yes, Merch Informer is the software out there. It actually does, if you want to upload to various things, not just Merch by Amazon, Etsy, Shopify, Redbubble. So you can take one design, put it on Merch Informer, and then you can push it out to various things like Merch by Amazon and Redbubble and Etsy. The other thing about Merch Informer that's pretty cool is it does have a designer feature in there. Oh, and it comes with free clip art that they do 100 new clip arts every single month. And so you get more and more clip art every single month that is free to use commercially. So that's kind of cool. You can actually use that on your KDP stuff, your t-shirts. You can use it on all sorts of different things. I would say that clip art's probably better for t-shirts than it is for KDP, but there might be a few things that are useful for KDP. But usually I think that sort of thing looks best on t-shirts. All right. Yes, the trademark checker is actually honestly my favorite tool. They should add that to Bookable. You're probably right. I will let Neil know. I talked to not Neil, but actually talked to someone who helps him in his business all the time. So I will actually let her know, because that probably is a good idea. I'm sure he probably has it somewhere on his list. All right. Well, thank you. And like I said, there, I have a link, 20% off for life, which is cool. If you want to look at using Merch Informer. I did the link for somebody else. So somebody else gets 20% off, or I got 20% off for life from somebody else too. So I think that's a great thing. Good for everybody, right? Any other questions? Sorry, I forgot to mention Merch Informer. I really meant to. That's okay. I'll mention it again in my next merch ones. I'll actually go through and do a tutorial if you guys would be interested in that. It has a lot of features. There's a ton of training. Neil's so great about having a lot of training, and he sends out emails all the time with different information about things that are going on in the industry, ways to get your title noticed. He does a lot of really great stuff, and I enjoy that. Anything else? If not, I'm going to go get some lunch because it's lunchtime around here. But I'm so happy to have you all. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I know most of you are the holdouts here at the end, but I appreciate you guys being here live and letting me talk to someone rather than just myself. And I will see you all next Wednesday. And I have no idea what I'm going to do for my next non-live on Monday, but we'll see. Maybe I'll do an Amazon ads for Merch by Amazon. That's probably a pretty good idea. So I'll probably try and do that. All right. I will see you all next week. And thanks for being here. Bye.